Hello everyone, this is Akira, this is Megumi, and Happy New Year to you and to your family. 2024, we want to, make you guys into, noodle masters. So we thought, okay, why not share, something valuable with you guys like at this beginning of the year. And then, so we have something special going on. Well, for now, the online noodle making course that we have, right, is free to access until the end of this month, right? So for this class workshop, we thought, okay, why not? Why don't we do this event to kind of, help you guys understand better and then learn better with our online noodle course, right? So we want to cover. This is a two-part course or class, right? So today we're going to cover just ingredients, right? Ingredients of the ramen noodle, and then just kind of better understand what each of these ingredients do, right? That's for the ramen noodles. And then next week, Friday, 19th, we're going to do like 2 times for North America and Europe, on noodle production methods, right? So we're going to share some of what we talked about in the online noodle course, in more detail, for you guys to be able to understand, and study these, noodle making methods and ingredients better. So please watch that to the end. So first I have some slides to explain each of these ingredients does, and then Baby is going to make some noodles, based on what we learned from the slides. So please watch till the end. Okay, so let me go through some slides first, and then we're going to make some noodles. So, right, so can we switch to the slides? Okay, yeah, so, we want to make, authentic, very good ramen noodles. Like, we want to understand the fundamentals of, ingredients basically. So, first off, what we want to think about is, it's the vision, right? Vision of the noodles. Like, what you want to start with the end in mind. So, you want to think about, okay, what types or like what sizes of noodles like you want to make, right? What kind of texture you want in noodles, right? We start from there, and then we want to think about, okay, to achieve that kind of noodle texture, noodle type, okay, what kind of ingredients we need to have, right? And then based on this information, we're going to build a perfect noodle recipe for your noodles, which is going to be your next course next Friday. So first of all, we want to think about, okay, what kind of noodles we want to make, right? So for us to be able to think about, okay, what kind of noodles, what kind of texture want to achieve, we have a very convenient, useful tool, which is this chart. So this chart describes the different types of noodles in terms of hydration, protein content of flour we use, right, and then noodle sizes. So basically, you can see like on the top left corner, Hakata ramen, right? It is like hard and thin noodles. So hydration is low, 25 to 30, and then protein content of flour that's used to bake this noodle is high, right? So higher the protein content, the harder, right? So hard noodle, and then it's very thin, right? Hard and thin. That's a key combination. Like if it's hard, then it should be thin. If it's hard and it's like thick, in the big size, and then it's not a good noodle texture. Like it's just hard to eat, right? So as we go down or like go up the hydration level, we start seeing like Tokyo ramen, like shoyu type ramen, or like even like tsuken and dipping noodles, and then the noodle size gets bigger and bigger, right? Thicker and thicker, and then the protein content goes down, like to be softer, right? So looking at the picture of like this type of noodles, like low hydration noodles, Hakata style, thin and hard, and then like this is the kind of like shoyu kind of ramen, like kind of middle size, and then mid hydration. And then this is kind of flat, but like tsukemen sort of noodles. So there are big differences in terms of appearance too. So first ingredients, wheat flour, right? Wheat flour, that's probably the most important ingredients we want to think about. So protein content we talked about for ramen noodles, that's the hardness, 11 to 13%. But higher, in this range, still like 1% makes a big difference, like in texture. Ash, 0.3 to 0.5%, like lower the better, because ash changes the color and the texture. But like the higher ash has like stronger wheat flavor. But like if you want to make like a Hakata style noodles, like tonkotsu noodles, they tend to be like very white in color. So you want to have wheat flour that's very low in ash, but it's maybe overseas, like it's difficult to obtain such flour. But so we want to do more starch, or like we want to seek probably outside your country. But the ash is like what it is. And then another variable we want to think about is the viscosity. That's determines how elastic the noodle is going to be. So, but if you have a flour that's high protein but like low in viscosity, right? Then you're making noodles that's just hard, but like just collapse in the teeth, right? So you want to have high protein and then a high viscosity value. And then we actually test it. Like this viscosity value like doesn't show up on the product label, right? So you need to measure it, and then we have a device that we can measure it with. So if you have a flour, you can send it to us. We can test it for you, and then send it back to you. So it's free of charge. And then so water, basically hydration we are talking about, and then so ramen noodles like basically is categorized into like three categories of hydration: low, medium, high. Depending on that, type of noodle we are making are different. And then well, it's gonna be like the next class, but the process, like we do like first process we do mixing. Mixing time varies from hydration level to hydration level. So basically water, that's the hydration. Like more water, softer, less water, harder. The concept is something like we have to have on noodles to be called ramen. That's a definition of ramen noodle. And then what it is that like well, there are many types of currency, right? But like we're talking about this type of currency that's a combination of like potassium carbonate and sodium carbonate. Potassium carbonate hardens the noodle texture, makes the noodle harder, and then it changes the noodle color, right? So once you put this potassium carbonate in, mixed in the noodle, and then the flour comes a little bit like pale yellow, and it has this smell, currency smell. Some people hate it. And then sodium carbonate does pretty much the opposite of potassium carbonate. So we use this currency. It's the different ratios of potassium carbonate to sodium carbonate. So basically, potassium carbonate makes it harder. So we use more potassium carbonate for thinner noodles. Then we use more of sodium carbonate for thicker noodles, like because thicker noodles we want to make it softer, thin noodles we want to make it harder. And so still talking about water too, and the kind of combination with currency. So ingredients, water we use soft water. Soft water is like something that doesn't have all these minerals in it, like magnesium, like calcium, right? The reason for that is when we're cooking noodles, right? This is a noodle, right? Noodle strand. We cooked noodles, cooking noodles means that like we are releasing the calcium and salt and other stuff out of noodles, and then noodles are absorbing water, cooking water, right? So, but if you have if you cook the noodle in hot water, where there are a lot of like calcium, magnesium, right? There's less room for these guys to get out, right? And then so it takes time to cook noodles. So that's why we want to use soft water. And then if your water is hard, then we recommend that you use this kind of water softener, which is small investment to make for your restaurant or business. Another effect that Kansi has, right, is that Kansi makes the cooking water. This is a experiment we did, like cooking noodles, right, and water that's neutral, and water that's like light alkaline, and then water that's light acid, right? And then we measure like, okay, how much noodles we lose, right, in cooking, because noodles like melt, right, into cooking water. So we measure it, and then like when we cook the noodles like in water that's neutral, like we lost about like 20 to 30% of the noodles, right? 100 grams, and then like it just becomes like 70 grams. 30 grams are lost in the cooking water. But like when we cook the noodle like in water that's in light alkaline, which is effect from Kansi, because Kansi resolved in the cooking water, right, and then making it light alkaline. So we just lost about like 10%, 12%. So we saved a lot of noodles in this way. But when we cook the noodles over and over, right, in the same water, and then it gets more like alkaline, right? So alkaline, if it goes like 10, pH 10, pH 10, pH 11, pH 12 or something like that, and then we lose way more noodles in the cooking. So we want to change water constantly to maintain the pH level of cooking water. Okay, then salt. So salt is something that we add to ramen noodles to achieve a couple things. So salt basically tightens the gluten, right, of the wheat flour. So basically makes it kind of chewy, crunchy texture. And then at the same time, we're adding salt to add the taste of salt. But most of it dissolved in the water, cooking water. So just has some taste of salt left the noodles when you taste the noodles. And then you can use this kind of tool, measuring tool like refractometer to see the salt density of the water that you add the salt to. So calcium and salt are basically liquid ingredients, right? It's liquid. So we want to talk about liquid and solid ingredients later, but that's a calcium, salt, or liquid that's dissolved in water, right? Basically, the eggs, right? Eggs we use for ramen noodles, right? They're basically white fat powder, white part, and then like whole part. So white part we use, right, for basically thin noodles like Hakata style noodles, thin noodles, because thin noodles they get soft fast, right? Soft fast like in cooking. The soup, right? But we want to retain the noodle texture as long as possible, so we add the egg white, right? So when you add egg white, those of you who have like egg white before, boiled egg before, you have the sensation like this, biting into egg white, right? It's kind of bouncy, and then it actually makes it like kind of water resistant, the noodles, right? So you can add the egg white to kind of achieve this kind of like noodle texture. At the same time, the sort of noodle texture retaining kind of character in the noodles. And then we add whole egg, right? Whole eggs to just achieve the eggy flavors, right? and then just a little bit of like color of yellow. But that's it. Not you cannot get really the benefit of using egg white, but by using whole egg. But yeah, whole eggs are used like sometimes to add like a flavor. And then yeah, you could add like a yolk, just only yolk powder too, but just eggy flavor, and then not so much, doesn't much affect the noodle texture. And then you can, in Japan we have eggs in powder form, dry powder form, but if you don't have them, like you can definitely use fresh eggs. But when you're using fresh eggs, right, like we're talking about like liquid and solid ingredients. Just think about fresh eggs as like 70% liquid and then 30% solid. Okay, when you're using whole egg. Egg white is a little bit different ratio. The gluten, right? Gluten. So basically, we have gluten, like kind of extract of wheat, just the gluten, right? Gluten. What it does is just basically makes the noodle harder. So if you're working with the flour that has protein content like maybe 10-11%, and then but you want to make Hakata tonkotsu noodles, right? Make it hard, right? And then you may want to add 1% of gluten or something to kind of reinforce the hardness, that add the hardness to it. Okay, and then flavoring and the coloring ingredients. So there are so many of them that we can think about. We can do to color and then flavor our noodles, and then yeah, for example, spinach powder, like make green, like yeah, there are so many of them. But it's a kind of trial and error to find ingredients that are available in the country to kind of flavor and color well your noodles well. What you want to be careful about is that when you make them to fresh noodles, and then when you cook them, right, the color changes completely. I mean, sometimes, like some cases. So yeah, you want to just do some experimentation, like try and error, to find good ingredients for flavoring, coloring. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna make today. Megami's gonna make now. But before we go, so yeah, so building your own noodles, right? Recipes, so solids and liquids, right? Solid ingredients, wheat flour, eggs. Eggs can be part solid and part liquid too. Gluten, and then flavoring, coloring ingredients can be liquid and solids too. We could use blender. I mean, we could put the fresh spinach in a blender, and then we could use it. The liquid ingredients constitute salt, water. So basically, we want to divide them, and then think about them like in different ways. So that's what we're gonna talk about the next Friday. And then so before we go, right? Start making noodles. So this is the okay. So there's a time lag. So yeah, this special online noodle making course that we have is available for free access until the end of this month. So if you haven't already, please sign up for free until the end of. And then if you have any questions, right, about noodle making, ingredients or whatever, just feel free to send us the questions, email like anything. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So, all right. So I think you guys are tired of me talking already, but let's start making some noodles. So today we are going to make, we talk about low hydration, medium hydration, high hydration noodles, right? And then like today we're gonna do low hydration noodle, which is pretty popular noodles. And then it's the kind of noodles that cannot be made by hand or by conventional pasta machines, because we need a lot of power, strong power to turn these ingredients into noodles. Okay, so there's a Richmen Gold I machine, and then we're going to just start the mixer just for 1 minute, right? So this is low hydration noodles, right? And then so we have salt and the currency. So we want to dissolve all these ingredients into water, completely thoroughly, right? So as I said, these are liquid ingredients, right? So liquid ingredients. So it's important to think about them as liquid ingredients, because the next class, next Friday, we're going to talk about building of your own noodle recipe, right? So in that recipe, we want to think about, when we're constructing a recipe, we want to think about solid ingredients and then liquid ingredients, because liquid ingredients contain water, right? And then currency, and then probably salt, and then some other stuff, right? And that's liquid. Then because we talk about hydration, right? Hydration ratio is very important when we are building our own recipe, and then because you have to count all the liquid ingredients, right? Not just water, but also currency and salt as liquid ingredients, right? So that's a total weight of these ingredients that's calculated as hydration percentage. That's to the weight of the solid ingredients, right? Total weight of solid ingredients. So yeah, that's important to think. So she added the solution, right? Currency, salt, dissolved in the water, and then we run it, right? Just for 4 minutes first, and then because we talk about, because this is a low hydration noodle, so the mixing time is pretty long, 15 minutes. We have to mix it for 15 minutes, right? So just mix it for 4 minutes first, and then after that, want to add the rest of the water, and then mix it for 11 minutes. Good hydration. Hydration is very important. So, but we don't want to waste your time just looking at the mixer, right? For 50 minutes. So then we prepare the dough in advance. So this is a chili powder kneaded dough. This is a pure chili powder, I think made by a Korean company or something for their kimchi. But it's a pure chili powder, and then because chili powder, it's very dry. There's no moisture in it, so adding chili powder makes the dough drier than usual. So when you're using this type of dry powder, you want to increase the hydration percentage by a few points at least, right? If you are adding chili powder, the amount 3% to the weight of the solid ingredients, right? And then you want to probably increase the hydration ratio by 3% to get that same kind of condition of dough that you are aiming at. So if you are aiming at 27% for hydration ratio dough, then you may want to, and if you are adding 3% chili powder, right? And then you may want to increase it to 30% hydration ratio total. Yeah, so Richmen Gold I, what it does is just so it has this conveyor, right? And then so she just placed the dough, right? And then it's automatic, automatic winding, right? Feeding the winding, like it's feeding the dough automatically to the roller, right? Set of rollers to make the sheet of dough, and then it's automatic. No dough. Yeah, and then it has this system that lets you know there's some kind of error, right? And then so like there's an alarm, right? And then okay, so there's no dough. So yeah, so add more dough, right? So it has this like sensor, right? Sensor system that like kind of detects, okay, how much dough is going in, right? How much dough is going in, and then so we know, yeah. So like the machine does, it moves the conveyor, right, to the speed where the machine is like feeding the enough dough, or like not too much dough, to the machine to make a sheet of dough, right? Yeah, so the chili powder, right, in terms of color, was chili powder itself was like, it's very, pure kind of red, right? And then, so yeah, so make me put our hand like into the machine to get that kind of residual like dough into the roller, but like so our hand went through the sensor. It's called cotton sensor, and then so the machine stopped, right, because of the safety feature. Yeah. So what went through right now is like just we call wrap forming, and then yeah. Next process that we do is called combining process. And in terms of color, right? In terms of color, yeah, the chili powder was like very red, and then mixed with the white flour, right? So it became like kind of like orange, right? Orange color. And then I think it's gonna be a little bit different, like when we cook them, right? When we make the noodles and then we cook them, the color would change again. So after going through the wrap forming process, so we somehow made it to dough sheet, right? But like still very weak, fragile. So want to make it strong, right? So then yeah, he adjusted the roll gap to 2 mm, and then so we going to combine these two separate sheets into one, right? Through rolling. Yeah, so the dough is coming out, and then it's definitely more firm than before. So this dough is like very hard, right? You know, because the low hydration, the amount of water we added very small, so the dough is very hard. And then you know, to process this kind of dough, you know, we want to have like big rolls, right? Big rollers. But then you know, if you have like Italian pasta machine or something, then you know, it's very hard to process this kind of dough because their rollers are pretty small. And then so yeah, first combining, then we usually do this process like twice to get that kind of noodle texture that we want. So this noodle texture, the noodle texture of these noodles will be like very unique. So like very kind of crunchy texture. Yeah, so second combining is done, and then so that was like the roll gap was like 3 millimeter. So it started from 1.5 first roughing process, and then you know, first combining 2 millimeter, and then second combining 3 millimeter. So well. So combined process like kind of like you know, walking the dough, right? Kind of like, you know, building the muscle, all right, to you know, create great texture. And then now after, you know, second combined process, you know, all we need to do is just thin it, right? And then from this point on, like we're going to start dusting. So after combined process, like we wanted to, you know, form the dough into sheet, right? And then, you know, stick them together basically. But from this point on, right, we just thin it, right? We just thin it to the final thickness. So we just, you know, we want, because it may stick together. So we want to start dusting. Yeah, but this is low hydration noodles, so like, you know, we don't have to dust like so much, but you know, so it's going through like 2 millimeter roller gap, and then it's going through 1.5 millimeter, and then yeah. So it's important to thin the dough, you know, gradually. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, we're gonna destroy the you know, the noodle texture that we worked so hard to, you know, have developed so far. So we want to gradually thin, and then the basic rule of thumb that we use is like 30% reduction rules. Like every round of thinning, we reduce the like roll gap by 30%. You know, so like 2 millimeter, and then reduce it by 30%, like 1.5. You know, so that's the idea. But yeah, and then that's 1.5. It's going to 1.5, and then, but you know, when we measure, it's 2.1. 2.1, 2.2, 2.1. Yeah, so there's always a gap between actual thickness and roller gap it's going through. Right? It goes through because just though it's bouncy, right? The moment the sheet goes through the roller, it's actually 1.5 millimeter, but just expands back by that much, like 0.6 millimeter. Yeah, so following the rule of 30% reduction rule, yeah, let's thin it one more time. Yeah, and then we're going faster. We can roll faster. So after the combining process, we are trying to build up muscle, trying to build muscle and into the noodle dough, right? But after second combining process, we can start fast. We can start going faster. Yeah, so 1.0 millimeter roller gap that's going through, and then yeah, 1.5. Yeah, so we know how much it bounces back, right? And then we can calculate the final roller gap that we need to set to get to the final thickness, right? So it's probably going to bounce back by 0.5. So if we set the roller gap to 0.9, it's gonna probably come out in 1.5 1.4 millimeter in thickness. And then how are we going to use 22 today, 1.4 millimeter width. Usually Hakata tonkotsu noodle usually a bit thinner, but this noodle is hydration is a little bit higher. Species number 22 for this one. Then we're going to cut. And then good thing about Richmen Gold I is that it is designed to be easier on the worker. Because all these the motions and movements that workers need to do, right, are designed to be easier on the workers. Right now, he's I'm going to take noodles out, right? Noodles are coming out at that height where she can sit in the chair and then capture noodles. So and then noodles coming out at the height where it's more visible, right? To spectators, maybe your restaurant or your business. People can curious watch how the noodles are being made, right, from scratch. So it may be a great piece of tool that you can use to attract more customers as well. Yeah, so noodles coming out, and then you can adjust the length of the noodles so that it's easy for you to make different portion sizes as well, and then so yeah, these noodles is actually very spicy. And then yeah, so the long noodles, right? Then shorter. So just touch of a knob, right? You can change the length, and then that translates into portion sizes, different portion sizes. Yeah, and then so I want you to try this noodle, right? And then taste it, because yeah, it's one of my favorite, but like it's very spicy, and then there's a flavor of like chili, right? And then spicy, and then actually the thicker you make it, the spicier the noodle, because basically you're getting more chili, but like this is just 3%, right? Chili powder to the weight of the total solids, but you can probably get it up to 5%, the maximum. The 5%, above that, like maybe challenging, but you can try. But we recommend that you guys use pure chili, right? Pure chili powder, and then very fine powder. Otherwise, if you have chili powder that's like kind of big in, big in size, and then like they're gonna stick out, and then like you can't. It may be difficult for you to make this size of noodle. Yeah, so we recommend that you use like chili powder in like a finer powder form. Yeah, so making flavored like colored noodles like is very easy. Just make the dough, right, in the mixer. It's very easy, and then but it just matter of like okay, what you have, right, what you're gonna put in. You can do like spinach, fresh spinach, like put in a blender, and then like make a juice, right, spinach juice, and then add it to the dough, or maybe like a squid ink, right? Make it black. Then it's got the flavor of squid ink, and then which is very good with certain types of ramen noodles, certain types of ramen soup. So I mean, it's like the limit is is your imagination. So that's up to you. And then so that's the class, right? So that was on the ingredients. And then if you have any questions about ingredients, any kind of like more, okay, I have these ingredients that I may want to use, right? But it's like just only locally available, and then can we use it? How can we make it into noodle? A kind of questions be welcomed. So please feel free to send us any kind of questions about the ingredients that we talked about today. And then so next class, next Friday 19th, we're going to be talking about how to build noodle recipes your own, right? And then based on like what we talked about today, right? And then we're going to also talk about the noodle production methods and processes, and then we're going to make some more noodles too. But like next class, we're going to make medium and high hydration noodles. So stay tuned. And then next class page is going to be up. Not sure when, but going to let you guys know. And then, but it's going to be you don't have to sign up. You just click the link, and then you can start watching. So free to. And then so please go to the our online school, .yamatonoodle.com. Then sign up for noodle making course that's free, right, up until the end of this month. So we wanted to weaponize you guys with all this like knowledge and expertise, to make your 2024 best year ever for you guys, for your businesses. So please do that today. And then please feel free to send any questions, comments on the ingredients that we talked about today. So thanks so much, and we appreciate joining. And then we hope to see you back in the next slide. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And then if you like this kind of content, please hit the like button. And then hope to see you guys back in the next class. So thank you so much. Bye bye.
はい、ありがとうございます。